Oh, hi there. Um, I thought I had made myself perfectly clear um, on this post I replied to on Facebook, uh, but I figured I should make a video as well, not specifically for the Facebook user I was talking to, but just in general. Um, they asked who was the number one terrorist country in the world. Uh, a lot of people were saying the United States. Um, that isn't true. The United States does go to other countries and bomb the hell out of them. That's true, but they're not a terrorist country. The number one terrorist country in the world is the most obvious suspect. It's the Chinese. Uh, it's not the Middle East, although a lot of fucked up stuff happens over there. Um, it's the Chinese, and most of what they do is covertly. Um, we don't see it so much in Western media. Just vague story of cyber hacking, um, human rights sort of stuff, usual sort of stuff, currency manipulation, and we hear it every once in a while, and it's kind of in the back of your mind, but you don't really see it for what it is. Um, One of the disadvantages Western powers have is that in order for us to normalize relations with the Chinese, we've had to do businesses with them for decades. Um, More modern business, anyway. Um, the thing is, in order to do that, you have to send Westerners, white people specifically, over to Asia to oversee the factories, uh, figure out financial contracts and all that sort of stuff that goes with it. I don't know the technicals of that sort of stuff. The problem is the leaders of those particular countries in Asia do not like white people. And it doesn't matter what they say or what anyone else says. That's the truth. They put on a porcelain mask and they disguise their true intention. They've always behaved that way. The Chinese government cannot be trusted. Um, and the thing is, they do despise white people. Um, like there are some people over there that think horrible thoughts about white people all the time. Um, and it's a really uncomfortable thought, the idea of the white people actually going there, because the Western powers also do not like the Chinese and can see them for who they are, but they don't tell us necessarily because the structure of our hierarchy in our government um, that can be put into question because of bombardment of propaganda. Um, when people think of Chinese propaganda or Chinese movies or whatever, um, offhand, they think of stupid karate movies and I don't know what else, like Japanese cartoons or something like that. But the truth is, there's a lot of it we don't see, and we don't really want to see it. It's all bad news. Um, and the thing is, people are so easily influenced that this information can never uh, come to Western the Western world as a mainstream media. Um, because people will not know how to process it. It takes years and years of self-discipline and training and studying and research to fully comprehend what's going on and not have a panic attack or something. It's a real serious situation. Um, as it were, the Chinese are not winning, but they do have some. particular advantages. One of them is for the Western powers to normalize relations and also take advantage of, you know, an economic situation over there. They got to send white people over to Asia. And as I said, the leaders there, they do not like white people at all. And for any excuse, they'll, um, destroy them. And our government also doesn't like the Chinese, but still sends people over there anyway. And most of the time, they don't know that there's anything wrong. Like they go there, they have good time, cheap booze, partying, and they think everything's normal. But really, behind closed doors, there are people watching them that do not like them. And the thing is, the disadvantage to the Western powers is that we don't actually like seeing our own guys get whacked. I mean, who would? But in Asia, they have a different concept of life and death. They think that if um, if they fail in their duty, that they've dishonored the state, and whatever they get is what they deserve. Um, as far as us go, I don't want to say we're apologetic, but we don't like the idea of the Chinese uh, doing horrible things to white guys. Don't like it at all. Um, and the thing is, this is a situation that's going to take a very, 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 very long time to resolve itself. But there isn't enough anti-Chinese, I won't say propaganda, but information out there, I should say. Not enough to discourage people from going over there. Tens of thousands of people travel to Asia every year, and most of them are completely oblivious just because the information is not available in Western media. And when they go over there, they are being watched, and that information will not become available over in Asia as well. And if it does, then you're in deep shit because then it's too late. There's no getting out. Um, it's a real scary thing because you can see the pushback. Um, like Western influence pushes in Asia, Asian influence pushes into Western civilization, and laws are being written that anything contradictory to mainstream belief could be designated as hate speech. Therefore, that's an offense. Therefore, you're in trouble, even though you're just stating a fact. That the business leaders that come over to Western countries, um, the people who are in charge, are very evil people, and they exist within our society, and they live a life of total protection, mostly of anonymity. Um, they bring their best and brightest over here. They're wealthiest. They're scientists. They're this and that. Um, our best and brightest and wealthiest tolerate them uh, because they're only a part of a larger evil. They've created situations and circumstances that allow them to be there. And the thing is, when you climb the ladder of power, you have to learn how to deal with people that you cannot stand. Um, and there are a lot of people who are protected, who are despicable people, and a lot of them come from Asia, and you know, they're the ones who are creating new ways of doing things, like new computer technology, new televisions, new medicines, and all that sort of stuff. And they're willing to do anything to make progress and to make whatever they're doing successful. Um, and that requires trial and error. And unfortunately, in particular with medicine, that means human guinea pigs. So that's, not a comfortable thing. I mean, in the pursuit of science, uh, they use that as a excuse, as a reason for why the pharmaceutical industry is so evil. Um, um, because 200 years down the road, the suffering of someone here isn't going to be of any consequence if it's a benefit to them. Therefore, science has improved mankind, and this is just growing pains. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's a sick, twisted logic on the thing, and these people sit in high places in in the Western world, and basically any power hub in the whole world. Um, they're uh, they're they're really they're not even human. Like those people who say the leaders are Anunnaki, half reptilian, and things like that. Although the concept is ridiculous, um, they are so not human that even though they're not technically reptiles, they're close enough to being reptiles that we can call them that, and it's not a crazy idea. Um, um, yeah, they say that only about 3% of the media created for mainstream uh, usage um, is available. 97% is concealed and on what they vaguely describe as the dark web. The dark web's not the dark web. The dark web's just the people of high standing. That's their web. Us common day schmucks, we get, we get the riffraff. We get, whatever's left. Um, yeah, um, it's a very tangled web, and there's a giant spider at the end of it. And people growing up in this world don't know about it. And as generations progress and new generations come forth, uh, anyone who may have any concept of this will have that information slowly over the generations taken out of their head so that no one can contradict the powers that be. And I think that is a great shame because those people who think they know it all, they don't. And they most often can be wrong. Um, yeah, so the the white Western businessmen and all that going over to Asia to do business for powerful business or men over here who wouldn't go there themselves um, are constantly in danger, whether they see it or not. Um, yeah, I mean, I certainly don't feel good about it, but I do feel pretty confident. I can't explain how it is actually. I've considered certain factors, and I'm not too worried as a whole that this covert war cannot be won. Um, it's going to take a lot of patience, and unfortunately, it seems inevitable that there's going to be a serious problem. Uh, Neither of the two powers trust each other, and maybe their reasons are valid, but even so, at the end of the day, um, I would rather have the devil I know as opposed to the one I don't. Um, yeah, it's a real difficult conversation to have, especially with no one talking back. Um, but I'm not stupid. Um, just yeah, just it's um, I'm at a loss of words to describe how to explain the situation, but my advice is I wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, I'll end this video here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.